Charlie Javice was once a rising star in the world of tech startups, a name that quickly became synonymous with innovation and ambition. Young, driven, and full of ideas, she launched Frank, a company designed to help students navigate the confusing and often overwhelming world of college financial aid. Javice positioned herself as a champion for students, determined to make higher education more accessible to everyone, regardless of their background or financial situation. Her passion and confidence drew people in, and her mission to level the playing field inspired many who heard her story. She quickly became a symbol of a new generation of entrepreneurs, those who wanted to do good while also succeeding in business, blending purpose with profit. The media loved her story, a young woman taking on a broken system, determined to fix it from the inside out. She appeared on TV, in magazines, and was celebrated for her innovative approach to a problem that affected millions of families across the country. Javice wasn't just selling a service, she was selling a vision of a better, fairer future for American students, one where opportunity wasn't limited by paperwork or bureaucracy. This compelling narrative helped her raise millions in funding and build a strong reputation among investors, educators, and students alike. In 2019, Forbes named her to its prestigious 30 Under 30 list, cementing her status as a rising star and a role model for aspiring entrepreneurs everywhere. This recognition opened doors, brought even more attention to her and Frank, and gave her access to powerful networks in the business world. The acclaim was built on the idea that Frank was a massive success, a company that was changing lives and disrupting the status quo. Javice claimed her company was helping millions of students, painting a picture of explosive growth and impact that few could ignore. Investors and the public believed they were witnessing the rise of the next great tech entrepreneur, someone who could truly make a difference. Her story was everywhere, a founder solving a real-world problem at scale and inspiring others to dream bigger. But behind the scenes, the numbers and the narrative were not what they seemed. There were questions, doubts, and details that didn't quite add up. The stage was set for a dramatic turn, one that would challenge everything the world thought it knew about Charlie Javice and her big idea. Frank's core idea was simple: make applying for college financial aid easier and more accessible for everyone, regardless of their background or experience with complicated forms. The FAFSA form is notoriously complex and intimidating for families, often filled with confusing questions and technical language that can overwhelm even the most prepared applicants. Javice saw this widespread frustration and positioned Frank as the solution that could cut through the red tape and bring clarity to the process. The company promised a user-friendly online tool designed to make the process faster, less stressful, and much more straightforward for students and their families. Frank was marketed as the TurboTax for financial aid, instantly making its purpose clear and relatable to anyone who's ever filed taxes online. The website was approachable, guiding users step by step, removing confusing jargon, and offering helpful tips along the way to ensure no one felt lost. The goal was clear: eliminate fear and confusion, making college funding accessible for everyone, and helping families feel confident about their financial future. Frank's mission resonated deeply with families struggling with rising tuition costs and the uncertainty of how to pay for higher education. The company promised to help students not only find, but also apply for all the aid they were eligible for, streamlining what was once a daunting process. Beyond FAFSA, Frank claimed to connect students with a wide range of scholarships and financial resources, expanding their options and opportunities. It presented itself as a comprehensive financial wellness platform for young people, aiming to support them throughout their entire college journey. This broader vision made Frank seem indispensable for modern students, promising guidance and support at every step. The promise was bold. Frank would be a long-term partner on the financial journey to college, not just a one-time tool. But as Frank's popularity grew, the reality behind these ambitious claims would soon come under intense scrutiny, raising questions about what was really happening behind the scenes. Frank's mission and rapid growth claims caught the attention of JPMorgan Chase. The bank wanted to connect with younger customers, students who would soon need financial services. Acquiring Frank seemed like a shortcut to millions of future clients. Charlie Javice's story and charisma were part of the appeal. She claimed Frank had over 4 million engaged users, a goldmine for JPMorgan. The bank saw an opportunity to integrate Frank's services and expand its reach. negotiations began, and in September 2021, JPMorgan acquired Frank for $175 million. Javice was celebrated as a visionary, and the deal made headlines. She joined JPMorgan in a senior role, tasked with leading student-focused initiatives. It seemed like the perfect outcome, a founder with a mission, now backed by a financial giant. The acquisition was hailed as a win for both sides. For Javice, it was the ultimate validation. For JPMorgan, it was a strategic investment in the future. But beneath the surface, cracks were about to appear. The fairy tale was about to unravel. After the $175 million acquisition, JPMorgan was eager to capitalize on Frank's impressive customer list, which was touted as a major asset in the deal. The bank's marketing team quickly set up a test campaign, sending emails to a sample of the supposed 4 million users, expecting a wave of engagement and new opportunities. The results were shocking. Most emails bounced back, and user engagement was almost non-existent. Confusion turned to alarm as JPMorgan's executives demanded immediate answers. An urgent internal investigation was launched, and it soon revealed the truth. Frank had fewer than 300,000 real users, a fraction of what was promised. The vast majority of the customer list was fake, filled with duplicate or completely fabricated names and email addresses. When asked for proof of users during the acquisition, Javice allegedly hired a data scientist to create millions of fake profiles, generating data that looked convincing on the surface. This synthetic list, crafted to deceive, was presented as genuine to JPMorgan, passing through initial scrutiny. The bank, despite its due diligence and layers of review, had been thoroughly deceived by the elaborate ruse. CEO Jamie Dimon would later call the purchase a huge mistake, acknowledging the scale of the deception. The $175 million deal, once seen as a strategic win, was now exposed as a brazen fraud that shook the financial world. The truth was out. Frank's explosive growth was nothing more than a carefully constructed fabrication. The fallout was immediate and severe, sending shockwaves through the startup and banking communities alike. The story of a once promising startup had quickly become a cautionary tale for investors and entrepreneurs everywhere. The consequences for Javice and her team were just beginning, as legal and criminal investigations loomed on the horizon. The unraveling was swift, public, and left a lasting mark on the world of finance and tech startups. The fraud led to serious legal consequences for Charlie Javice. Federal prosecutors charged her with bank fraud, securities fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy. In court, prosecutors argued she had deliberately lied to JPMorgan, hiring an expert to create fake data. They painted her as a founder willing to break the law for personal gain. Her defense argued she was a young entrepreneur who made mistakes, not a criminal mastermind. They claimed the harm to JPMorgan was minimal and that she believed in her mission. But the evidence was overwhelming. In March 2025, the jury found Javice guilty on all counts. The verdict marked a stunning fall from grace. The once celebrated entrepreneur was now a convicted felon. Her story had become a warning about the cost of deception. At sentencing, the courtroom was tense. Prosecutors pushed for a harsh sentence, citing the scale and intent of the fraud. Javice's defense pleaded for leniency, highlighting her youth and lack of criminal history. Judge Alvin Hellerstein addressed Javice directly. He acknowledged her potential but condemned her actions. "You're a good person," he told her, "but you've done a bad thing, and I have to punish you." His words balanced empathy with accountability. The judge recognized the tragedy of a promising life gone astray, but he made it clear, actions have consequences. The sentence would reflect the seriousness of the crime. Judge Hellerstein sentenced Charlie Javice to 85 months in federal prison, just over 7 years. The punishment was significant, sending a message about the seriousness of white-collar crime. Javice was also ordered to forfeit $22.4 million and pay $287.5 million in restitution to JPMorgan. The financial penalties stripped away her ill-gotten gains. Even after sentencing, Javice's legal battle continued. She hired a high-profile lawyer and planned to appeal the conviction. The appeal process would be long and uncertain. Javice's dramatic downfall became a cautionary tale in the business world. The justice system had held her accountable. Her story was now a warning about the dangers of fake it till you make it. The consequences were life-altering and permanent. The dream was over, reality had set in. The price of fraud was clear for all to see. Charlie Javice wasn't alone in the fraud. Olivier Amar, Frank's chief growth officer, was also charged and tried alongside her. Prosecutors argued Amar was deeply involved in fabricating user numbers and deceiving JPMorgan. He was presented as a willing partner in the scheme. The jury convicted Amar on all counts, confirming his central role in the fraud. His conviction showed that responsibility for corporate crime extends beyond the CEO. Amar's sentencing was scheduled for October 2025, with the possibility of a long prison term and heavy financial penalties. The case underscored the principle of shared responsibility in corporate wrongdoing. Executives cannot simply follow orders if they know illegal activity is taking place. The consequences for Amar would soon be decided. The story of Charlie Javice and Frank is a powerful cautionary tale. It shows that good intentions can't excuse dishonesty or fraud. The fake-it-till-you-make-it mentality has limits. Crossing into illegality brings devastating consequences. Even sophisticated institutions like JPMorgan can be fooled by a compelling story. The case is a reminder for investors to verify claims and for entrepreneurs to ensure their numbers are real. The personal cost of unethical choices is steep: prison, financial ruin, and a destroyed reputation. Javice's fall from grace is a warning about unchecked ambition. The justice system ultimately held her accountable. Fraud is not a victimless crime and will be punished severely. For young entrepreneurs, the lesson is clear: build something real, even if it grows slowly. The temporary rewards of deceit are never worth the long-term price. Javice's story is a reminder that integrity matters most. In the end, the truth always comes out.